how much do we really know about Lovesick? Everyone's saying this is going to be better than Yandere Simulator. It's going to come out before Yandere Simulator does. They're very certain of this. Well, let's fuck around, see if those claims have any stake. Let's just watch this trailer, for example. Wow. Seeing lots of stolen models and animations. Some new stuff, some new interfaces. Okay. So, there isn't actually anything original in this trailer. There's a lot of stolen assets. It looks a lot like the original Yandere Simulator. A lot of animations that were created for Yandere Simulator that exist in Yandere Simulator. I don't get how this new model is supposed to look more anime and just looks more masculine. This one is kind of impressive, I'll admit. Yandere-chan just looks weird, in my opinion. But there's really nothing here that says anything about what kind of game this is going to be. It just looks like a clone of Yandere Simulator, just slightly different. That's a lot to say, honestly, because there are dramatic trailers with flashes of gameplay like this for other games that you wouldn't normally suspect, because those are games that are made by trusted publishers, usually. I don't know anything about this guy. I don't know if he's 15 years old or 50. I don't know if he's living with his parents or if he has bills to pay. I don't know if he, goes to school. I don't know if he's got, a part-time job. I don't know if he really did do this, a full-time job for 2 weeks with one other guy. There's not a lot shown in the video, but what is shown is stuff that could be accomplished in 2 weeks, because it's probably not all one cohesive product. It could just be several instances of several different products that are edited together to look like a game. And I say this because it is infinitely more complicated to create a game that does all the things that Yandere Simulator does, because the different mechanics clash and they create bugs and then things break. So if you were to not worry about that by putting all the different functions in different Unity projects and then edit it together and it looks like a video game, then sure, you could probably get it done in 2 weeks. Again, I don't know how much time this dude spent on this in 2 weeks. I don't know anything about this dude, as opposed to Yandere Dev, who has hours upon hours of footage for Yandere Simulator. Not to mention an actual build that you're allowed to walk around in. So you know that Yandere Simulator at least is legit. I don't know anything about this game. I don't know anything about this dude. I don't know if he can be trusted, especially if you pay attention to Rebus here. There's a chance that he started a scan game like this before and then dropped it because it turns out development is hard. But, okay, benefit of the doubt, there is actually a video here that does show some gameplay, so let's look at it. What do we got here? Okay. So the UI in this video looks identical to Yandere Simulator, except there's a heart here with a percentage. I personally think the heart graph looks better. And now we have this, these animations were all made specifically for Yandere Simulator and are stolen, by the way. Along with this plaza, that pool, that locker room there, along with that hedge. Here's another thing I want to bring up. There's lots of tall walls and hedges that are placed in this environment, and regardless of whether or not that is realistic architectural design for a school, the other purpose it serves is that you can't see the map very clearly. You can't see what's actually around the school. He doesn't actually enter the school. You can't see how much of it is built. And I will say that a very talented individual created a tool. It's actually a school editor, so you can create your own version of the Yandere Simulator school. I don't know if that's a mod or an actual tool in Unity. I don't know if Dr. Apeis used it. It's possible. But overall, this school is very cleverly constructed so that you can't actually see it very well. You can only see these very specific corridors, only specific areas that he wants you to see. And you never see students walking around in groups the way they do in Yandere Simulator. You don't see a huge crowd of students in one place at one time. You see a couple of students, like one student in one area, or like a couple of students in one area. And I remember back in the early days of Yandere Simulator, adding a student was a big deal because they're all constantly doing checks, and that would take a hit to the frame rate. But now, obviously, Yandere Dev has been adding students at like 15 at a time, so it's not as bad. Yeah, that animation was made for Yandere Simulator and stolen, by the way. So yeah, this gameplay mechanic is functionally identical to the sanity mechanic in Yandere Simulator. It looks a little bit different. You don't have, it's not as flashy. You don't have hallucinations of Yandere-chan stabbing her rival. You don't have Yandere-chan giggling. You have this percentage here in the bottom left, in the bottom right, I should say, instead of a heart graph, and you have scribbles instead of the entire model turning black. A lot of that is cosmetic. I like Yandere Simulator's version better, personally, but functionally, there is no difference in the sanity mechanic. None. And that's because it's really, really easy to copy something once it's been done. You know, I made a turn-based RPG in, like, high school, and it took me a long time, but I made, like, one battle, and I used, it was in Scratch, true, like baby's first programming tool, but the thing is, anyone can do it if you know how it's supposed to work. A lot of Yandere devs' mechanics in Yandere Simulator were original. They hadn't really been done before. At least not in a way that's so widely recognized that you can use it as like a point of reference. So he had to build this game from scratch. And Dr. Apeis has his example to build off of, so it can be easier to replicate that code. Or, you know, if you believe that the code was stolen from decompiled scripts, or the source code when the subreddit got leaked. Great job, by the way, for delaying Osana more. But okay, let's look at something that does look original. Let's look at this corridor test here. It's 43 seconds. The UI looks different, a little better actually. This inside material here looks newer. That water fountain looks identical to the one Yandere Simulator. Pretty sure this hairstyle here is also from Yandere Simulator, the one that this guy has, but I'm not too sure about that. Yeah, that water fountain is identical. That animation is probably stolen. Is that supposed to be Info-chan? I really fucking hope not. And is that supposed to be Senpai there? I don't know. So she's just walking through a corridor, and it's like, okay, it doesn't look that bad. But this also came out after the trailer did. I don't know why he's making a trailer before he has a completed, coherent product. My point is, we don't know anything about this game. There's no development blog. Everything's done in Discord, which isn't even available, by the way. He has a Twitter page, which I'm scared to look at because Twitter is a cesspool. There's nothing here. There's really nothing to show that this game is any better or even a completed product. We don't know when it's going to come out. We don't know how dedicated people are to it. We don't know. There really is no evidence to support the claim that this is faster than Yandere Simulator, that this is better than Yandere Simulator. All we have is a 16-second trailer with flashing stolen assets. We have a gameplay video that is functionally identical to Yandere Simulator, just looks worse, in my opinion. We have kind of a passive-aggressive FAQ. He chose these questions specifically that he anticipated and answered in this frequently asked questions thing, even though this project is still very new. This video came out like a couple weeks ago. The whole thing seems very passive-aggressive, and there's really no evidence to support that this is a finished product and that it will be out sooner than Yandere Simulator, that it will be better than Yandere Simulator. There's nothing. So, shut up. Not that. There's a reason that Yandere Simulator took as long as it did. Yandere Dev was waiting on assets, for example, animations and models. Dr. Apeis stole a bunch of assets and animations from Yandere Simulator, so he didn't have that waiting time. Yandere Dev had to, you know, build all the functions in the game from scratch. Dr. Apeis didn't have to do that. At the very least, he modeled it off of how Yandere Simulator works, if not completely stole the code in the first place. And finally, there's the whole fact that people have been trying to get Yandere Dev to kill himself for years, and Dr. Apeis has the advantage of not being suicidal, as far as I know. I'll reiterate, I don't know anything about him. I don't know if he has a mental illness or not that will impact his time working on the game. I don't know. I know nothing about this. I know nothing about him. There's no information to go off of. Before you go out and say that you're certain that something is going to be better than something else, make sure you are really looking factually at what's going on. Because who knows? This could get dropped. I don't know.